Even if you think about Teslas and self-driving cars and all of that, that's all kind of part of the whole metaverse concept where your digital life is everything. It's much bigger than people realize. People try and focus on Ready Player One and think of it as that, but it's not. Everything is being digitized and it's happening at an accelerating pace.
Welcome to Dream Richer. Have you ever seen the Ready Player One movie? According to most people, that's what the metaverse would look like. Even though we tend to not place a major focus on the metaverse as of yet, but according to Raoul Pal, that's all about to change. Mr. Raoul argues that our world has already entered into the great metaverse phase where everything has and will be digitalized. Much of this has already happened without many of us realizing that this is all headed into the metaverse era. Our photos have been digitalized, our videos, our friends. What's next? Could it be that our currency also becomes digitalized with the rise of stable coins, Bitcoin adoption, and so much more? For some, metaverse may seem like a fantasy world where everything will be perfect and everyone gets to stay connected with each other forever. But some argue that the rise of metaverse could in fact be the rise of communism in a much subtle form, where everyone is forced to become dependent on their digital properties, rather than their physical assets and properties. What do you think? If you find the video helpful, then don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into it.
Raoul Pal, what is the metaverse?
We are in the metaverse now, my friend. 5 years ago, we couldn't do this. You guys are in LA, I'm in the Cayman Islands. We're not actually speaking to each other. We've got a digital representation of our voices, a digital representation of our imagery. So this is the metaverse. Here we are meeting. So it's the digitization of everything. And the more of our lives that become digital and live in this digital world, the more that becomes the metaverse. It's not a single place, it's a state of being. And it's a never-ending pathway there. So as we build out games, VR on phones, as Apple start launching their VR push, Facebook and whatever they're trying to do with, Apple and AR, Facebook and VR, all of the other permutations and combinations, just different kind of web experiences that are more 3D and personalized, that don't look like the 2D of Web 1 and Web 2. I think all of this is the metaverse. I think the metaverse is a place where you can live and work and socialize in a digital environment. And that's it's accelerating towards us. But as with all exponential curves, you never really see it until it happens. And then you're like, holy shit, did this all just happen? And that's what's happening. If you look back over the last 10 years, oh my God, the change is dramatic. Even if you think about Teslas and self-driving cars and all of that, that's all kind of part of the whole metaverse concept where your digital life is everything. It's much bigger than people realize. People try and focus on Ready Player One and think of it as that, but it's not. Everything is being digitized and it's happening at an accelerating pace. And that is the metaverse. Right now, we're forced into communities within Facebook and Google and these kind of platforms. But the new world allows us the freedom of movement.
This is what Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, wrote in a letter to his employees. We've gone from desktop to web to mobile, from text to photos to video, but this isn't the end of the line. The next platform will be even more immersive and embodied internet, where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. We call this the metaverse, and it will touch every product we build. So we've all heard of it, but what exactly does the metaverse open doors to, and what does it enable users to do? In the metaverse, users will be able to build on wealth, for example, by owning and trading property. Once the virtual property is purchased, it will be assigned to a particular user and unavailable to other players as long as that specific avatar owns it. Plots of virtual land can be bought or rented, just like in the real world. These properties can be sold or traded to other users, just like in the physical world, to build an economy in the metaverse. Key industry players also predict that this digital world will significantly impact our socialization and even professional lives. Bill Gates noted that he believes all work meetings will take place in the metaverse in the next few years, elevating remote work.
It's the same happening with money. We basically now got the freedom of opting out of the US dollar and using Bitcoin or opting out of US Treasuries. So it's the opting out ability that I think is really powerful. It also helps police the private sector entities, because if you've got freedom of movement, then they're more incentivized to not be monopolistic, or at least evil in their intention of their monopoly. They may end up as a monopoly, and that's fine, but at least they need to treat people better because people can leave, particularly when you own your own digital identity.
Do you own one or two metaverse protocols?
I've owned Decentraland and Sandbox, and I've got a property in Crypto Voxels, which is the Real Vision headquarters we built. So some exposure there. And I don't think that those are going to be the answer either. I even don't think anybody's thinking through digital real estate, because everyone's assuming that because Snoop Dogg's got a place in Sandbox, if you get it next door, it's worth a fortune. But everybody knows that you just get given a coordinate in the metaverse and you just go straight there. You don't walk around outside. That's nonsense. Now, in 30 years' time, might you walk around? Yes, but walking's inefficient. You just teleport. So I don't think location is what people think it is, unless you can create scarcity around location to say only X type of people can be in here, and there's a restricted number of things. But we haven't seen that yet. So it's very early for all of this. And what AR is going to mean, how that all works, what Apple is going to build out. They're already mapping the entire world in a AR map, where it can be personalized to all of your personal experiences, and it gives you a rendition even of small spaces. So iPhones currently ping your environment. I only learned about this recently. It's like 5 million times a minute or something stupid. But what it's doing is mapping out your own environment. It's like, when we saw the fax machine, could we figure out that the internet was coming? That would be on Zoom calls, right? Before we would just, that's only 20 years ago. We were faxing shit to each other thinking this was a miracle. And now we're on real-time video calls at zero cost. That's the other thing that digitalization does. It drives everything to zero, because digital is infinite, which is why you needed digital scarcity. If not, nothing works, which is why blockchain is so useful in a digital world, because you stop the infinite element of digital.
It's clear from Raoul Pal's explanation that metaverse is the future. Big names such as Bill Gates have oftentimes dropped hints as to how metaverse will shape our future. Even though many write off the metaverse as just another NFT bubble, but professionals argue that people will become dependent on their digital properties, just like we do so now with our phones. While this idea may take some getting used to, the ability for users to roam free and build what they want in a digital world is not new. This freedom is part of the reason for the success of games such as Minecraft and Roblox. Users will be able to live, interact, work, and study in the metaverse just as they would in other virtual spaces, with just as much if not more freedom. But once again, many still don't agree that metaverse is the answer to the freedom we need. According to skeptics, freedom should be brought in the physical world, not in the digital. Do you agree with Raoul Pal? To learn more about the latest crypto news, watch these videos here.